I can be long-winded, but I'm not a public speaker, so just bear with me. Count me as a nobody, okay? I'm not anybody important. The politicians don't know my name. A lot of you don't know my name. Some do. I'm grateful for friends and family that are out here today. I was born in Canada, in BC. Moved out to Alberta, spent most of my growing up years out in Alberta. I feel very proud at this moment, this time in history, to be an Albertan and to be a Canadian. Let's hear it for Canada! Woo! I'm a farmer, rancher. I've trucked. I've done trucking for farmers. My hat, though, goes off to truckers. The long-haul truckers that work day in, day out, don't get to see their families for very often, and they keep going. They're supplying our goods. You might almost say, I don't want to sound derogatory, but the farmers, ranchers, truckers, we're kind of the low spectrum of society. We're technically the nobodies. But I love how, I believe God is behind this movement, and I love how it feels that God is working from the bottom up. And again, no disrespect to truckers, I am one of them. I have my class 1, I haul Super B, I've done grain, and it's kind of a rush feel you get when you get into a big truck. But I love my occupation. I love, if you will, being the bottom of society, supporting everybody higher up. And it's not about the wage, it's not about what you do. We are all people made in the image of God, and we all have a voice, and I love seeing the voice that's happening here now. So my hat goes off to truckers. Initially, when I heard about the border being blocked, I struggled with it. It's like, I don't have that kind of courage, and obviously we've all, I think, struggled with it a little bit, the legality of blocking a roadway, and I guess we're sort of doing that right now, one way or another. But I've come to terms, we had to speak, and we had to speak loudly. We had to cause a very peaceful, and I love how peaceful it is, disturbance that would get attention and that people would come behind. And again, my hat goes off to truckers. They have done very well. We are here to put pressure on the government. As lowly as we are the common people, we're the working class. We are the people that I think are going to instigate change in our government. Obviously, we haven't felt very listened to up to this point. I understand the government has a very interesting role, because they have to listen to all sides and then they have to make a decision. But at the same time, we don't feel like we have been heard like we would like to be heard. And I think there's a growing majority of people that are just frustrated with the system, and we're slowly getting that back. I guess that brings me to my next point. If you can picture with me a triangle, normally we picture it like Egypt, the pyramids. Thank you. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little long-winded here. The pyramids of Egypt, and normally you picture it with the leader on top, and they're telling everybody under them what to do. But my perspective, and I think there's a lot of people that would have this perspective, is very different. A triangle where you have leadership, I would say flip that upside down. What do we call the leader of our country, Justin Trudeau? We call him the Prime Minister. He is essentially, and this isn't derogatory, just hear me out, he is essentially the bottom of the triangle. He is the bottom minister. He's the one that holds it all up. He takes the responsibility. He acts and does what needs to be done for the country, but he's the one supporting everything up. And that, to me, this is kind of a contrasting to how we normally see things. As you can tell, I'm not a well-spoken speaker. I feel like God wanted me to say something, so I got to say it. But he is holding it up from the bottom, and he is the Prime Minister, the prime servant. A real leader is the one that's first out of the trenches in a battle. A real leader is the first to take the blame for wrong done. He's first to ask questions of the people on the ground to see how things are going and find out what needs to be changed. And we believe we're believing we'll hopefully be heard. The successful companies out there, the CEOs will listen. I know this sounds a bit extreme, but they'll listen to their janitors, they'll listen to the secretaries, the people that are dealing with ground level stuff. They're not 10 feet off the ground. They listen. And we want to be heard, obviously. The Bible is an amazing book. It speaks of true leadership. And Jesus was, like Keith Dangerfield was talking about, he's our ultimate example. He became the lowest of the low. Why do you think he was born in Bethlehem? We all know about Christmas. It just happened. Why do you think he was born in Bethlehem? He should have been born in Jerusalem or some Roman Empire castle. He should have been the one that was born as a king and just sweep out Herod and take over. But he set an example. He was the lowest of the low, born in a manger, put into a manger. Come on. This is the King of Kings. This is the creator of the universe, the creator of this Canada that we live in. And he is the one that made himself nothing for all of us. Sadly, we don't know this stuff anymore. We have kicked God out of our schools. We've kicked God out of our government. And the Bible is no longer a part of how we live our lives. And it's so sad because I have enjoyed so many blessings because God's ways work. And I'm not saying I'm anything special. Again, I am a nobody. Most of you don't know me. God's ways work. And I've been raised in a family where they've followed God's ways. The Bible works, you guys. God's ways work. And I want to preach that as loud as I can because our culture is in such a mess. There are so many problems we have because we've kicked God out of our lives. So I ask you, invite Jesus Christ in your heart. Make him the center of your life. And follow his ways. Read your Bible. I know there's a lot of complicated stuff in there. You can maybe have someone help you learn. And the big thing, what I tell my kids, my kids are up there, some of them holding God Keep Our Land Glorious and Free. I tell them, ask questions. You keep asking questions, eventually it'll lead to the truth. And the truth is the answer. God is the answer that we end up with at the end. Keep asking questions. Obviously, that's what we want our government to do of us, to see how we're doing, what's going on, what can we do to change. And we're asking for change right now. We're asking for change at this time in history. And again, I ask you, why is our government in such a mess? We have left God out of the picture. Guys, we got to put God back in. He is the creator of the universe. We need to follow him. This is not an option, you guys. We've made such a mess. We have made such a mess of our culture. We've made such a mess of Canada. And we need to claim back the truth that God is the one that can set us free. The only one. Follow Jesus Christ. Put him in your life. And make him the most important one. We need more nobodies. Nobodies rise up. We are nobodies. As a single person, we feel like nobodies. We feel like there is no one. We feel like we are not doing things that affect change. But all of us nobodies have risen up. So I'm going to close with this. Everybody, we are nobodies, but we're standing up for Canada, and we will make a difference. God bless Canada. Thank you very much.
We are somebody. We are God's children. Amen.
Yes.
Yeah.